everybody, this is going to be an update on my feeding routine for the horses, and also just pretty much like a little barn update on top of it. So let's just get started. First of all, I haven't done one of these in a while, and it's going to change in a couple days. The feeding isn't going to change, just where the horses are fed is going to change, and I'll kind of explain that here just a second. So as you can see, no one in the barn, a bunch of ice right here. Let's talk about that real quick. So this big 300-gallon tub was over in this corner, and it's sunny for the next week or so. So that's all the ice that was in it from being under the shelter to keep the snow and slush out of it and keep it from freezing harder. And so that's not an ideal place to dump it, but I couldn't lift it, so that's where I had to dump it. Hence why it's moved over here now, because it is sunny, and I know this part is shaded. But as you can see, there is a sun patch in it, so that'll help keeping it from completely freezing. Let's go outside to the girls. So the girls are fed outside for the next week or so until the weather gets crappy again, just to get them out of the barn. They're in there constantly 24/7 eating. That's the other thing I've changed. They now have full access to food 24/7. It never gets empty in a slow feed hay net, 3 feet by 5 feet net. I think it holds 2.5 bales, 80-pound bales that I have. And it's nice weather, so I wanted to bring them out here and let them get out in the sunshine while we have it. Beautiful skies. So as you can see, they have tons of food, and here's kind of how they're looking if you don't follow my Instagram. So Kamani, when we went on our trip before summer ended, her ribs were showing, her belly was really round, almost like wormy. Her hips were really dipped in, her butt was really dipped in. She's really muscled and filled out a little bit. Yeah, I know. And Avalon had a really, really thin neck. Her hips still kind of need some more muscle. Her back needs some more muscle. We'll get there. But, you know, her overall condition looks better, except they're really filthy. Her neck is much thicker. Hi, big girl. So they are switched to free feed because they both have really sensitive stomachs. And they're both really easily prone to colic and ulcers. I've never had horses that sensitive. That's crazy. And they, knock on wood, I think they've been on this feeding routine like this for about 2 months, going on 3, I think. And no colic scares, no acting colicky, nothing, no acting painful, nothing. So super happy with them. They'll stay this way in the summer. They'll always have a full bailout, but obviously they'll be eating grass too. They'll just have the choice if they want hay or grass. Forgot to mention, the girls are actually on grass hay. That's what they're eating. And I did speak to the vet actually yesterday about adding Bermuda, Timothy, or alfalfa to it, what she thought was best, just so they'd have more nutrition. She goes, well, you could add alfalfa. The problem, though, is with how sensitive their stomach is, even if you added just maybe like a little half a flake for a couple of days and then upped it after that, you know, a half a flake every 3 or 4 days if they're doing well on it. The problem is their stomachs are so sensitive, it could go back to giving them ulcers or colic again. So she said pretty much unless they're losing weight and having trouble keeping weight with the work that they're going to be doing this summer, being on grass, don't touch it, leave it alone. So in case anybody's wondering about that. We're at the ponies now, so let's get an update on them. So currently they're being fed. This is Scratchy for anybody who doesn't know, and that is Sassy. They're being fed in my girls' old, well, I say old, they're my travel trailer hay nets. We'll go in and look at them. So the ponies are using these for the winter, and here's why. I fed them on the ground when it was sunny, and you can see it's all muddy and icy and slick. So that's why they're fed in hay nets. There's 2 of them because that one's a pig and will like block his whole body against it. Currently they're in grass hay, but they only have a bale left of grass hay, and the rest that they have, that we have here now with us, is alfalfa. So we'll be using that other bale today actually to slowly start transitioning them back over to the alfalfa. And then I talked to my grandma, and hopefully this summer we're only going to be buying them grass because they don't really need alfalfa. They're not working. They do maybe a few days of work in the summer. They really don't do much, and they're already overweight on grass. Okay, so I'll show you why they're also being fed outside is also because it's sunny. Same reason for the girls. But the other reason why they're being put outside right now is so I have a place to hang the hay nuts. In a few days, it's supposed to snow again, so I will be trying to hang the hay nuts somewhere in here because since the ponies are so small, they have to have low-to-the-ground feeders. And as you can see, the rabbits are pooping in their feeders. And this tub is actually almost up to my knees. They have a heated water trough in here. And then this is the one Scratchy eats out of. And you can just see the rabbits pooping in them. We don't want them eating that. That's their salt lick. Of course, that causes colic. So probably in the next few days, I will be taking this trough out and that trough out. And probably hanging maybe some of these or some type of hook or something along this wall. And then I might just hang the other feed bag here. Because I don't want to feed one over here. Because then they have no wind breakage. I hope that made sense. As for the ponies this summer, more than likely they're only going to get to go out in my grandma's yard and in their pasture that I expanded, because even when they're out with the mares in that big 1 acre field, they try to go through the electric fence. They do go through the electric fence when it's on. They just get shocked and run away and then just run right through it like it's not even there. Well, we have barbed wire up on the hill and then flat wire. I don't know, it's like barbed wire, but it doesn't have barbs on it. Flat wire down the property. And so if we put them out on 15 acres, they still might try to go through the fence. We definitely don't want them going through barbed wire. My grandma's yard is completely fenced off. It's like an acre. It's like huge. So they'll have that plus this pasture, probably plus the round pen too. And then the mares will get the rest. So all that's going to change in the summer is the ponies won't have access to hay, but they'll have access to grass. That's if we get enough. And the mares, I'm just trying to keep them free fed because their stomachs are so sensitive, so they'll have access to both. I hope this makes sense. I'm sorry if it was a little bit boring, but there's your guys' updates. If you guys have any video suggestions, comment them down below, and I'll see you in my next video.